I hope you all know that I was installed as Queen Mother for this area last year on my birthday when I turned 85. I'm almost 86. So Mangye means Queen Mother. My name is Mangye Na Omiamia Osu Owa Okapong the First, which means mother who loves and cares for all the children, which make me love and care for all of you. But I'm excited always to come and give a Gainesville history moment because the thing that I want in history, written someplace, is some history about Gainesville. We've been negligent in that. And maybe I need to come on another day and talk more about that, but I will. But today I want to talk about being a student, a black student doing Jim Crow and segregation in Gainesville, Florida, and how very blessed we were to have Professor A. Quinn Jones and the teachers that came to Lincoln High School and made sure that we had the best education that they could provide, which meant oftentimes they used their own funds to make that happen by buying books or buying materials or taking some trips. But the black schools were also our intellectual outlet. So that's where we went to see plays, and that's where we had to go to see symphonies, and all of those things were provided by our teacher. I remember when Mr. Jerry Miller would have his band, which was also the marching band, perform symphonies. I mean, really good symphonies. But not only that, he taught us how to listen to a symphony so that we could enjoy and we would understand what was happening. I still remember that. The high school, I wasn't going to say this, but now I am. One particular play that was just most exciting was called Papa Was a Preacher. And the reason it was exciting because my new boyfriend, Delano Filer, played the lead role. And I just thought it was very exciting, so I thought you might want to know that too. But anyway, you may not. But I was also excited to be in school there when a young man who was named John Dukes came. He's a Lincoln High School graduate, went to the service and Florida A&M, and came back to teach at Lincoln High School. And what he brought to us was something we'd never seen before. His impact was far greater than what we learned pi equals 2r squared, whatever we were doing in his math class, because what he did for us was help us organize as being Honor Society, the very first one at Lincoln. We went on to become a part of the National Honor Society, and I'm very happy to have been in that class. Then the popularity came with hanging with the smart girls rather than the other way around, so I had to be up there with the girls. So not that I was that smart, I really worked hard at it, but I was glad to have that as one of the moments because the teachers really supported that, and they really gave a lot of weight to your ability to excel, and they would help you to maintain that and also to achieve that. I remember in the 6th grade, we were never sent out of class if we had a deficit. One of the young ladies in my class, we called her Beauty. She's pretty, but she had a beauty mark there. She had a problem reading, so I was her partner for reading. And somebody with the math problem would get somebody who was a good mathematician to work with him. Those are the kind of teachers that I like to talk about. But I specifically wanted to talk about Mr. Dukes because he came to Lincoln and he brought all this excitement, and he was young, and everybody was just thrilled by the fact that he was the youngest person on the faculty. But not only did he organize us as an honor society, he took us on our first bus trip outside of the school and outside of Gainesville because there were no such trips outside of the sports. Took us to Tallahassee, Florida. We went to see the legislative body in action. And that was an awesome moment for us. But he capped that off with taking us to Florida A&M University, where we saw an opera on stage. That was really good. And then the day ended, because there's no places for blacks to eat, with a picnic at a park. And we were thrilled as 11th graders because we also were able to meet the newly engaged Mr. Dukes. Was engaged to his wife, and we met her. Now, you know how teenagers are. That was just like the cat's meow, if you know what I mean, to visit her. But Mr. Dukes did more than that. After we graduated, he helped us organize the first alumni association for Lincoln High School. That was in 1957. I still have my card. That's how important it was to me. During that time, segregation, was overwhelming. There was no place to go to school in Gainesville to be a nurse. Those of us that wanted to be nurses and couldn't go away to Brewster College in Jacksonville or some of the other surrounding areas couldn't go. But the LPN, Licensed Practical Nurses program, was taught through the school system, but they only took white students. Once they decided, I don't know what the mechanism that led them to this, that they would accept African American students, they put in place a test that had to be passed that wasn't there before for us to get there. Mr. Dukes heard about that, and he gathered all of us in that wanted to be nurses and tutored us for weeks and weeks in order to pass that test. Everybody passed it. They all went on to be an LPN student and graduated and practiced in Gainesville many years. I decided that if I could pass that test, I could pass another test, so I didn't go for an LPN. I waited till Santa Fe College opened, got my AA to get there, and went on to university and got my bachelor's and a couple of masters after that. But I just wanted to let you know that for a long time, African American teachers have been the basis of how we have achieved in this city, and they remain so today, and some of them are still alive, and some of them, I want to pay homage to them. I always try to give them credit for what I've achieved, because without them, we couldn't have been in this, I couldn't have been where I am today. But there were others, Miss Daphne Duval Williams, who always saw you doing what it is you wanted to do. She always promoted what you were trying to do. She would put you in touch with people who were doing the same things. And if there was a class that didn't have a teacher that day, she chose somebody out of the class, 11th or 12th grade, who had those skills, and we were the teachers for that day. That's all we had. We didn't have a substitute teacher budget or any place to get anybody from. So I wanted to lay that on you, as you would say today, because when we talk about history in Gainesville, and I mentioned Black history to some people around this town, they're in awe of names and places and all, and it amazes me that you can live in a city all for so many years and only know the white world. You know, we're here too. And I think you have to make an effort to know that. And that's my presentation today, and I thank you.
Thank you so much.